About 2 months ago, my husband and I got married in a beautiful ceremony. It was so much fun. We went on a honeymoon after. The price tag makes me wheeze, but my parents were insistent on paying for 95% of it, saying it's their only daughter's wedding. As a result, the wedding was way more fancy than something my husband or I could afford. My husband and I paid the rest, his family did not contribute, which is fine. The wedding was lovely, but missing one piece, the marriage license. About a year and a half ago, I was going through some serious health issues. The issues are resolved now, thankfully. I had recently graduated from school and didn't have health insurance. My husband and I decided to get married so I could join his health insurance. It was a quick justice of the peace ceremony. We were always planning to have a ceremony at some point in the future. A few months after that, he proposed, something I didn't see coming. The wedding occurred, and here we are today, planning for kids. Very few people knew we got legally married about a year and a half ago. We weren't trying to be deceptive. However, part of it was that I wasn't comfortable revealing my health issues. My husband respected this. My parents knew about our legal marriage, but his mother did not. His mom, I'll call her Carol, and I aren't close. She's fine enough in low doses, but we're currently in the process of moving. This past weekend, his mother came to help us pack up things. As we were packing files, birth certificate, social security cards, etc., somehow our marriage license must have slipped out. Carol picked it up and kept insisting we need to frame it. And then she noticed the date. Carol lost it. She insisted we lied to everyone. She said our wedding ceremony was just a gift grab. Our wedding website stated that someone's presence was gift enough. We still got many generous gifts, and we are forever grateful. Carol went and called her twin sister, my husband's aunt, and the sister called and lashed out at us. She said we were sneaky and deceptive. She is saying she may want her gift back, something we are fine with giving her. For me and my husband, the legal wedding was just so I could get insurance. A means to an end. Our wedding date is what we will celebrate. Are we idiots for not being more upfront? I've been really upset and confused and waffle back and forth. My husband insists we are not idiots. I suspect she's just hurt she didn't know you'd already been married a year and a half. Her son didn't tell her and I can see why she'd be upset. Lots of people have ceremonies after they're already married, it's not uncommon. Older people sometimes don't get legally married for a variety of reasons, like benefits from a deceased spouse, and just have a commitment ceremony. How is it a gift grab if you didn't have one a year and a half ago? Like, if you'd done a real wedding back then, there would have been a reception anyway, so. Not the idiot. But if you haven't found a way to explain things to her, figure out a way to tell her while leaving the unwanted specifics out and have your husband explain the situation. You won't want to be on your mother-in-law's bad side from the proverbial gate. Not the idiot. Being legally married unlocks certain powers that can make life better. Y'all did that and that was wise. The ceremony or reception is to celebrate the couple and also a good way to see friends and relatives that aren't close by. The fact that y'all were legally married doesn't diminish the celebration. Carol is being an idiot because she feels entitled to know every detail about you and her son, and her not knowing a socially irrelevant, but legally very relevant detail, wins her little heart. This is a perfect application for the non-apology. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we made the right decision. You're the idiot. You told one set of parents that you got legally married and not the other. I can understand why Carol would be upset. It's not like she was a co-worker or friend or extended family member, her son got married. Although she came off mad and came at you, she's probably really hurt on the inside, especially considering the manner in which she found out. So I was supposed to get married 2 months ago to my ex-partner of 5 years. Sadly we broke it off because he cheated on me on his bachelor party with a stripper. I had this beautiful dress that cost me around $2,000 out of my pocket. I had been very depressed since everything happened because I felt it was somehow my fault for not being sexy enough or not giving him what he wanted. So last weekend I decided to take my power back and I began altering the dress. I have been sewing for 15 plus years, so I know what I am doing. I cut it a bit, changed the color to something less dingy, and after a week of work, I had a beautiful gown that I could use for more stuff. The problem comes now. I uploaded that picture of the dress to Instagram with a caption that said something along the lines of "you can change the worst memories" or some shit like that. My sister hits me up and asks me if that was my old wedding dress, and I told her yes. She then called me and asked me why I had done this. I asked her why it was such a big deal. And she told me that I could have waited till after her wedding. I was so confused. Then she reminded me that, when we were staying at the hotel, where my wedding was supposed to happen, my mom and sister were there cheering me up, and my sister said something along the lines of, "Oh well, if you are not using it, I will." We all laughed, so I thought it was a joke because it was never brought up again after. She just asked me once what material it was, so I assumed she wanted something similar. Now my sister is mad at me and my mom says she understands our POVs. But that I could have waited 5 more months till after her wedding to take my power back. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I was going to say no idiots here because this seemed to be a communication breakdown where she had asked to use your dress and you just hadn't taken the ask seriously, but your sister is the idiot for not following up on the dress thing before this point because her wedding is in 5 months. If she was going to be wearing your wedding dress, she should be arranging alterations for it by this point, so she should have said something a month or so ago to follow up and take the dress into her own possession. So effectively you'd be paying $2,000 to watch your sister get married in the dress you were supposed to wear on what was supposed to be the happiest day of your life. I'd feel upset about that too. Plus it sounds like she never made it explicitly clear she wanted your dress. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. Your sister is a triple idiot. 1. For expecting to get married in a dress that has so many bad memories for you. 2. For not really asking, but expecting an offhand remark during an emotional session and your lack of consent to be an actual agreement. 3. For being pissed off about it afterward instead of supporting her grieving sister. Your mother is only one idiot because how can you see both sides on this? Not the idiot. I think it's pretty insensitive for your sister to expect to use your wedding dress. She needs to consider how painful it would probably be for you to sit at her wedding and watch her walk down the aisle in the dress you were supposed to wear for your wedding, which then turned into a terrible memory. You do what's best for you, and you should feel proud of yourself for reclaiming your power and turning the dress into something new and positive for you. My wife and I divorced when my daughter was 6 years old, and my wife had custody of my daughter for the most part. Since I was too busy working 50 hours a week, she quickly moved on to be with another man 7 years younger than her. I knew from many stories I've heard that my daughter would probably end up being closer to him than me, since not only was our time together very limited, but he was a stay-at-home dad, which means they had plenty of time to bond together, which makes me feel sick to this day. This may sound immature, but I made her promise to never ever call her stepdad, dad, that I was her only father, and to not betray me. But I have no control over what she or they do in their home. Fast forward to now, my prediction came through, and she's obviously closer to her stepdad than me. She has gotten engaged about a year ago, and now that the wedding is approaching near 1 month or so, she's now out of the blue told me that she wants both me and her stepdad to walk her down the aisle after promising me I would be the one to do it. Even though I know they're very close, I don't believe he has any right to walk my blood dogther down the aisle. I am her only father, it isn't fair that he got to be with my dogther more than me, her bio dad, and now he wants to take this moment from me too. I got a bit angry and told her I absolutely will not share an honor that is meant for me, the actual father of the bride, with some guy I barely know. She told me he's done a lot for her growing up and that I'm being petty over something that happened years ago. I told her I wasn't going to argue about it, and if she wants her stepdad to walk her she can, but I won't be there to see it. I was told by a friend of mine who uses this site quite often that many people have gone through something similar to this with their kids or parents, so I wanted to see other people's perspective on if it's wrong for me to want to be the only one to walk my only daughter down the aisle. You're the idiot. So you can't be an adult and put aside your feelings for one day for your daughter? Why are you making her choose? What's so horrible about her wanting both of her father figures to walk her down the aisle? Her mom remarrying a younger guy literally has nothing to do with the story. You sound jealous and bitter. You're the idiot. Why weren't you in her life more? If you were working so many hours you couldn't afford a good family law order to have more visits. You didn't fight hard to see her. I think I missed a part where you made attempts throughout her life to see her. You should be thankful she even wants you to co-walk her. You sound bitter instead of being thankful she had another person to love her in your absence. You sound incredibly selfish. You're being jealous over something that happened 20 years ago. It sounds like you were never really there for her as a father growing up, and when you were forcing her to make stupid promises. And now you have a chance to be her dad on her wedding day, and you don't want to share. Your story reads like the words of an immature child. It looks like if she only has one dad, it's not going to be you, and that will be your fault. No idiots here. I get you're mad and hurt, but how do you think this is going to help your relationship with your daughter? This is just making things messy, and I am sure really hurts her as she loves both of you. I get you had to work, and you feel replaced, but it is not fair to make her choose between you two as she has grown up with him from a very young age, and I am sure he did do a lot for her, and he was there when you couldn't be. From what it sounds like was very good to her. Thank God he wasn't an idiot who treated her bad, so yes, you should be glad that she had a good role model. I think you are going to cause way more damage if you press this issue and make it about yourself and ego and how you can't get over it. I am sorry you are hurting, but don't put that on your child. Not fair to her, as I am sure she is trying to do what is right for her and her family, you and her stepdad included. This goes back 3 years when my mom and her girlfriend got engaged. My mom put in so much time and energy into organizing this wedding and was so excited. She sent out invites to all our family members 4 months in advance, and almost everyone confirmed they would be going. Barely a week before the wedding, she received several messages from aunts and uncles who said they won't be going because they had other commitments, despite confirming they'd be there months prior. One of my aunts, my grandma's sister, confronted my mom and said many weren't going because they still didn't agree with the fact that she was marrying a woman, including herself, because it went against her Christian views. Meanwhile, my hardcore Christian grandma was more than happy to walk my mom down the aisle. This upset my mom, but she tried not to let it ruin her wedding. I, however, was furious. Only my grandma, my mom's sister, a few cousins, and another aunt attended the wedding, while my stepmom's entire family came. What really pissed me off was that 2 weeks later, my cousin who lives in a totally different state celebrated her sweet 16, and everyone who made excuses about not going to my mom's wedding made the journey all the way over there and posted pictures all over Facebook. It really broke my mom's heart and just felt like salt in the wound. I swore then that when I got married, everyone who did not show up to my mom's wedding would not be invited to mine. Fast forward to now, me and my girlfriend of 2 years got married first week of March, and I kept my word. The only ones we invited to our wedding was the family that did go to my mom's and one other aunt who did have a good reason for not being there at the time because she was recovering from surgery. We even invited my stepmom's family too. Obviously my other family members found out and expressed their hurt over not being invited. I called them all out and said if they had a problem with my mom for being who she is, then they had a problem with me, and I wouldn't let toxic people be a part of a special day for me and my wife. My wife stood behind my decision, as did my mom. That still doesn't seem to stop them from thinking it was an idiot move and are turning it into a whole family drama because they think it was unfair to punish them for simply believing in something different. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot at all. As a mother myself, it makes me feel good that you stood up for your mom against toxic family members. My own daughter did the same thing for me, and I really appreciated it. I wouldn't have said anything if she had invited those people to her wedding, but she was smart enough to realize she didn't want them there either. It's always okay to cut toxic people out of your life, even family. Not the idiot. You didn't want relatives at your wedding who disrespected your mom and stepmom. They were the idiots when they refused to go to their wedding, and they are still idiots now for complaining they weren't invited to yours. Family is supposed to love and support each other and find joy in each other's happiness. Your relatives didn't uphold their end of the deal in regards to your mom. I can totally understand not wanting them at your wedding. Your mom is so lucky to have you, and your wife definitely hit the jackpot. Congratulations on your marriage. They believe that marriage should be reserved for a man and a woman only. You believe that homophobes are idiots who shouldn't be invited to your wedding. If they can't change their beliefs for one day, then oops, neither can you. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. Your dedication to your mother is heartwarming. I would be beaming with pride if I were her. Wishing you both every happiness.